So the aim of our assignment is to achieve the 8th SDG in Sundargarh. So me and my friends have tried to come up with some ideas. The goal of this report is to summarize the economic condition of Sundargarh in context with the 8th Sustainable Development Goal, that is decent work and economic growth. We will be discussing the various issues pertaining to the SDG and provide persuable solutions, to the same, keeping in mind the goal and seven of its nine sub-goals. So as you know, the major industries of the Sundargarh district are steel, fertilizers, cement, ferrovanadium, machine building, glass, china clay, etc. Sundargarh occupies a prominent position in the mineral map of Odisha and is rich in iron ore, limestone, and manganese. As per the 2011 Indian census, the population of town was 20,93,437. The male population was 10,61,147 and female population was 10,32,290. Rural population of 13,55,340 and urban population of 7,38,097. Literacy rate of the district is 73.34%. So our first target is to diversify, innovate and upgrade for economic productivity. What do you mean by diversification of economy and why do we need it? Economic diversification shifts an economy from a single income source towards multiple sources from a growing range of sectors and markets. Traditionally, it has been applied as a strategy to encourage positive economic growth and development. Sundargarh, a mineral-rich district, is the need for diversifying economic. Is there a need for diversifying economic there? So our argument is that a diversified economy performs better over the long term. Another idea is that diversification exposes producers to a broader range of information, including foreign markets, raising the number of points for potential self-discovery and business opportunities for capital ventures. So the policies to achieve the targets are like purchasing the farm waste from the farmers to produce ethanol in the district. So according to the state agricultural statistics, around 64.5% of total households in Sundargarh constitute farm households. The government can purchase the farm waste like rice, straw and produce bioethanol, providing an additional income to farmers. The government would have to set up ethanol plants in district to give local employment opportunities. So the second policy is to invest in non-mining sectors. The government should encourage non-mining investments in mining regions. Food processing industries and manufacturing engineering goods in Sundargarh can directly benefit farmers, since the heavy dependence on steel manufactured reduces the logistic burdens. Many other non-mining sectors are potential investment areas. So the third policy is tourism. So Sundargarh has a high tourism potential for places like Vedvyas Dam, uh, waterfalls, and Vaishno Devi temples at Raulkela in a replica of the original temple of Vaishno Devi of Jammu, which is a well-known tourist place. Mandira Dam, Hanuman Vatika, etc. For Sundargarh to tap its tourism potential, the infrastructure needs to improve not only for tourism but to step up manufacturing industries and increasing mining uh, productivity. For the above chances to be possible, the government must invest massively in infrastructure first. Without proper infrastructure, the logistics involved in the setting up of new industries would be too costly, restricting investors from making the investments. So our next target is to promote policies to support job creation and growing enterprises. This target aims to promote development-oriented policies, formalization and growth of small and medium-sized enterprises, including through access to financial services. For development in any district, we have to look for good conditions that satisfy establishing factories like resources, transportations, and area to place the factory. So the problems are after mining the factory abandoned the jobless workers. After mining, the disposal of waste is the biggest problem. Job opportunities are scarce as many people working are not from the district, which cause job scarcity for the people of the district. Many people in small enterprises do not know about the rules clearly and know there is less funding to support their entrepreneurship. The policies included policies for achieving these goals are job transfer security for mining factories. After finishing the job, there will be a deposit fund to deliver to the workers by which they have some time to find a new job quickly. There is no pressure on their family to feed. Another policy could be alternate jobs, like the government can provide the people who gave their fields to the factories job opportunities to have alternate sources of livelihood. This will reduce the protests being held and work can resume effectively. Another policy could be health compensation. Like after mining and during the mining, the pollution is under control according to our jurisdiction. If violated, they have to pay a considerable sum of money to the affected people. And our next target is to improve resource efficiency in consumption and production. Water, soil, clean air, and ecosystem services are essential resources for our health and quality of life, but their reserves are limited. Efficient allocation of resources. What does one mean by resource efficiency? Resource efficiency means using the Earth's limited resources sustainably while minimizing impacts on environment. So the problems are like agricultural problems, lack of education, uncultivated land, acidic soil, lack of technology, and then improper use of forest resources, poor transportation, effects of mining. The solutions of these problems could be agricultural promoting schemes. Here, I would like to mention some significant initiatives that the government already takes, like this seed village scheme, Jal Nidhi, capacity building, NFSM rice, RKVY, biological methods of pest management, etc. But the government needs to take good initiative on irrigation, subsidies on laws, availability of seeds, and technological improvement. They should establish more agricultural schools and colleges, motivate farmers to use modern technologies, give subsidies on natural calamities or other losses, and buy costlier modern technologies. Another solution is building and maintaining roads. Good roads and transport networks are considered essential to accelerate the pace of development of any region. It can boost tourism also. The roads can help the faster and cheaper allocation of resources, boosting the economy. If we look at our country, we will see that the northeast is not so developed. Then other solution is implementing schemes like Kanyasri Prakalpa. Uh, and other some other explanation solutions are expanding reach of primary education, climate change awareness committee. Our next target is full employment and decent work with equal pay. female and male ratio Female and male ratio of employment in Sundargarh, including young and disabled people, and non-uniform employment. A statistical study of employment from 1981 to 2011 shows that 55.1% of males and 25.68% of the females are employed, that is, less than half of the females compared to males are unemployed. Lack of sufficient basic level educational institutions hampering the creation of a skilled labor force. The district major livelihood sectors include agriculture, horticulture, animal husbandry, fishery, forest, mining, industry, and other enterprises. Due to its richness in mining, Raulkela has increasingly become an industrial area drawing employment opportunities. Non-uniform distribution of education and training. The, and the solutions for these problems could be infrastructural development programs, like more academic infrastructure of state and national level values should be built. Then district quotas, opportunities for dropouts, uh, The state level recruitment exams should have a district quota, and district enrollment of all upper primary dropouts to the setup institutions ensures the creation of more skilled labor and hence more job opportunities. Our next target is to promote youth employment, education and training. Now I invite Asutosh to speak forward.
Our next target is promote youth employment, education and training. The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act aims to improve rural livelihood security by ensuring paid work for at least 100 days per household each year. In the Sundargarh district, this scheme has not very successful in securing wage employment in the mining affected areas. These include availability of land in the mining areas, sufficient work, availability of work as per skills of people, accessibility, distance to work, timely payment of wages, etc. Rural livelihood programs are unsuccessful at increasing incomes, and women's participation in the rural livelihood schemes like women's self-help groups is significantly lower than it could be. In rural areas, earnings are very low. The highest earning head earns less than 5,000 per month in around 89.9% of households. There is also a high level of income insecurity in rural areas, with roughly 53% of rural households relying on manual or casual labor. About 43% of people within the working age group are non-workers. So we can come up with some policies whose main motive was to promote inclusive growth by increasing the employability of rural youth from socially and economically deprived communities. In Sundargarh, our skill development program named accelerates expectations of school dropout adolescents in fields that offer opportunities to those who continue formal learning and training like ITI and diploma, provide beneficiaries with exposure to industry demands and the opportunity to work in the corporate sector, government, and other sectors. Promoting entrepreneurship is essential for youngsters to contribute constructively to district's economic development, and also promote lifelong learning is to build interlinkages between systems such as formal education, vocational training, scaling programs, literacy, and basic education program. Some of the methodology of these policies are: partners mobilize candidates through non-remunerative collaborations that include colleges, universities, and civil society organizations, and also government agencies and business. Training content prepared by experts with focus on industry needs different skill sets. Using the teach course mentor paradigm training are guided for positions both within district and outside the states. Exposure visit of both parents and students to training centers and placement centers. Targeted youth outreach and awareness programs. Youth must be informed about the various financial assistance programs available, such as low cost loans, post program employment, payment choices, and so on. Encourages youth entrepreneurs by offering access to capital through a crowdfunding plan for them, as well as business support system that includes business experts and websites to assist them. Low interest loans and working capital for youth under the age of 40 who have launched a business in the last 10 years. Guest speakers from various companies are invited to speak to students in junior high schools as part of the career exploration program. Set up an education environment to reduce the number of school dropouts. The next target is end modern slavery, trafficking, and child labor. Child labor is a serious problem in the Sundargarh district. 106 minor Sundargarh district children were rescued from various locations throughout the region in August 2016. 43,000 and 44,000 women across age groups have been trafficked between 2002 to 2014. Women are sexually abused by the middleman and the employer. The maximum trafficking takes place between the 14 to 18 and 19 to 25 age groups. Now I would like to discuss the problems, socioeconomic pressures facing individuals and workers, multidimensional poverty, informality, discrimination, precarious migration, abusive and fraudulent recruitment practices, downward pressure on wages, and overtime. Now I would like to discuss the solutions. Adequate legal framework.
strengthening labor inspection, criminal law enforcement capacity, addressing socio-economic vulnerability, child survival measures, strengthening social protection systems, freedom of association and collective bargaining, addressing migrants' vulnerability, promoting decent work, and microfinance. Our next target is to promote beneficial and sustainable tourism. Tourism is important because it helps increase the GDP growth rate and provide jobs to people. Why do people go to tourist places? People go to tourist places to see something different and enjoy the relax. So tourist places should be attractive whether naturally or artificially. The target of this good is to devise and implement policies to promote sustainable tourism that creates jobs and promotes local culture and products. Now I would like to discuss the problems. People are not well aware of the district's cultural, historical, and traditional heritage. Even though good transportation is there, people are not visiting Sundargarh because of the terror caused by Naxalites. State government is not taking proper actions to develop and highlight tourist place of Sundargarh. Now I would like to discuss the solutions. Proper awareness should be created through advertisements and primary education at school. Protection should be provided to tourists exploring areas with high Naxalite activities. State government should spend money and resources to develop tourist places. Now I would like to call Kostub to conclude our presentation.
We came to a conclusion that although Sundargarh is a relatively much developed district in the state, there is still a lot of scope for development, especially in the context with the SDGs. With around 35.26% of the population being urbanized and having ensured good living standards both economically and socially, it is lacking in the organized employment sector. Most of the populace are daily wage workers with poor living standards. Despite the mining sector contributing significantly to the GDP and the economy, it does not provide much economic growth terms with respect to equality and the sustainable development goals. To achieve the goals and the sub-goals of the 8th SDG, we have analyzed data from publicly available reports and have come up with innovative and unique solutions, some with untapped potential. Despite mining being the primary occupation contributing significantly to the economy and GDP as discussed earlier, our solutions also focus on other avenues. We have tried to provide a holistic approach towards achieving the 8th SDG goal by 2030. Thank you.